All right, so before you start this video, make sure that you have, by the way, I don't care if you actually use a taco truck or not. You can use whatever. You can make a cherry drive around or an airplane or whatever. Doesn't really matter. The important thing is that when you press that green flag, your game does exactly what my game does. It starts moving forward, and you can change directions with the left and right arrow keys, just like I'm doing. If your game can't do that, you need to make sure your code matches exactly what my code has. Otherwise, as we continue to go on, if you just keep plowing ahead, your game's going to get more and more broken. You have to take each of these moments to be like, is my game still working? Is it working the way I need it to? Cool. Now I'll add on to it. All right. So I'm trusting you that you've got your game fully functional. You made sure your code looks good. Let's talk about a background. Because right now, if you told your friend, hey, come over and play my game, they're going to be like, what? This is not a game. I don't know what this is. All right. Well, we can make it look more like a game. What we're going to do is we're going to give a stage to this, so a backdrop. So a backdrop, if you've ever been in a play, a backdrop is the scenery that's behind you, right? So maybe if you're in a play, school play about like, I don't know, being a medieval knight, then behind you it'd be nice if there was a castle. So people can be like, oh, okay, so he's a knight. He's outside the castle or whatever, It's a stage. So we're going to click on this little guy right here in the bottom right-hand corner that says choose a backdrop. Now, I'm going to show you two different things here. If you just click choose the backdrop, oh, that's kind of cool, isn't it? Hey, speaking of castles, there's a castle. Should we have our taco truck drive around the castle? Sure, why not? Hey, the king needs his tacos. All right. I don't really want to use this, but hey, this is your game. You can do whatever you want. I'm not going to use this backdrop, okay? So I'm going to choose actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to paint a backdrop. Oh, did you see that? Should I go back? Let's go back. I'll click on my taco truck again. Okay, notice how I can click down here and it's a little paintbrush that says paint. Now for my game, what I really want, if you don't like a background, by the way, that you picked, you can click the little trash can and delete it, get rid of it. Okay, I want to have like a racetrack. I'm going to draw a really fast racetrack. You might be thinking to yourself, this does not look like much of a racetrack. Okay, true. Notice how I use the little square tool and I drew a square. I changed the color to kind of like that green color. We can make squares. We can make lines. Okay. If you ever make a mistake in Scratch or there's something you want to undo, there's usually a little undo arrow. Just click the undo arrow and make things go away. Let's do this. If I'm making a racetrack, maybe I want to have, whoops, that's not what I wanted. This is where you're going to find out that actually I haven't used Scratch in a really long time. What a nice gray color. How about that? No, it's too dark. Too dark. I'm going to make it lighter. Oh, there we go. All right. So fiddle around with these knobs until you find a nice gray color, because that's going to be the color of our road. That's pretty good. Okay, like I said, you can fiddle around with these until you figure out, like, oh, okay, that's black and white. Okay. We're going to make, oops. Boy, I'm just having all sorts of problems today. Let me try this one more time. Here we go. We're going to make a square for real. We're going to change the color. See, it says Phil. Phil is not just a guy. Phil is a tool. All right. Now I'm going to make another square on the inside. But this time, instead of making it gray, I want to make it green, because that's going to be like the grass in the middle of the racetrack. And then if I want to get real fancy, and this is where some of you guys who have a real knack for being good artists, you're going to be like, oh, I can make a racetrack way prettier than yours, Mr. Rainey. I'd say, cool, go for it. I'm kind of in a hurry. I'm just making it as fast as I can. I'm going to make the edges so that way, you know, you're kind of stuck where you have to drive. Oops. In the middle here. Now, when I go back to my game, to get out of this, I'm going to click on my, so this thing that says Sprite 1, this is how you get out of here. Because right now we're in the backdrop. We're like coding like the background. I want to go back to the food truck. I'm going to click on the little food truck down here. That brings me back to my code. I'm going to click the green arrow. Oh, and look at that. Now I got a little, yeah, I know. My taco truck is upside down. I'm driving on this road, so that's kind of goofy. But it works. Works pretty well. Now, in the next video, what our goal is going to be is we want to start making our game a little more interactive. So I want you to be thinking about if you could add one thing to this game, what would it be? Would you add sound effects? Would you add more controls for the user? Would you change the car we're using or make the background look better? What would you do? Think about it, tinker with it even, and then when you're ready, come to the next video and let's add on to this.